Just outside of the downtown core, nestled off of the Creek of Oshawa, lies Children's Arena as we bring you here on your Saturday afternoon for Arena Lacrosse League action in the East Division. It is the 6-4 Peterborough Timbermen welcoming in the 3-7 Six Nations Snipers. 2025 has not been kind so far to the Snipers as they're currently on a 5-game skid. The Peterborough Timbermen enter at 600 so far after coming off of a 21-11 victory over Paris. We'll quickly go to the starting goaltenders for today's action. In the net, it's the Six Nations native Dustin Hill entering with a 3-5-0 record, a 15.29 goals against average, and a 720 save percentage. He's just 6 minutes shy from 500 minutes between the pipes this year. At the other end of the rink, it's actually going to be the New York native and Keegan Thomas, who comes in with a 12.47 goals against average and a 6.45 save percentage. He's a perfect 3-0-0 so far on the year. Both teams missing some key offense. You have guys like Avery Steinbach-Parker and Jeremy Bomberry missing for the Six Nations Snipers, and Zach Thomas, to name a few, missing from the Timbermen's lineup. The officials are Cortland Black along with Brad Fennell and Mike Melvin, who, by the way, is making his ALL debut. And here go the Snipers, led by Hill. Rips this one low. It actually ricochets off of the mesh and goes into the lap of the Timbermen, who look to respond here quickly 20 seconds into the game. Woods has the biscuit. The Curtis, Ontario native, already has 12 goals on the season. He was trying to find Milligan, who, let's face it, if you're the Snipers, all eyes on Cam Milligan, the league leader so far this season with 55 assists and 75 points in this league. Here comes Hill into the jaws of the Timbermen defense. Hill, stop, pop, and lock it. Goes up to the high slot, over to the far side. Shoulder shrugged away. The rebound's there, but calmly picked up by Thomas. Thomas actually played 2024 for the Cornwall Island Redmen, as well as the President's Cup winners in the Snake Island Muskies. So the Timbermen looking to open up the scoring here. Great pass from Milligan, backdoor, but his teammate just couldn't cap it off to the left side of the netminer in Hill. McAlpine back to Milligan. The captain's going to have to fire this towards the net. Actually hits McAlpine, though, and it will be turned over into the lap of the Snipers. Darcy Powlis, the head coach of the Snipers, sends 5 fresh orange jerseys out there. Unfortunately, the ball is maraudered away, and here goes Lowe's on a breakaway, scores! Put it up on the board, the Peterborough Timbermen score. A $1.39 into the contest, and it's Holden Lowe's opening up the scoring. Peterborough currently 3-2 here at Children's Arena this season. They have a couple close wins as well, including an overtime victory over the Toronto Monarchs, as well as a 13-12 victory over Oshawa. Remember, they're coming off of a 21-11 victory over the Paris Riverwolves last Saturday in this building, and they continue momentum here as Zulian, off for the face-off win for the Snipers, looks to draw his team even early from Children's Arena. Patterson over that far side. He'll be relied along for his offense when you consider guys like Jeremy Bomberry, with his team leading 16 goals and 34 points, is not available in the lineup tonight, as well as Avery Steinbach-Parker, who's got 33 points so far on the season. Now Jacobs sprung up the floor, couldn't handle the biscuit right away. It's gobbled up by his teammate, and Dustin Hill had to be sharp as a knife on that one. They were trying to go to that top left corner, but Hill denies it. Brandenburg and the Snipers come back the other way. They're going to head off to the bench. Fresh Snipers onto the floor. Pilon didn't like his original entry point, so he backtracks and gives it to a teammate on that far wall. Stotts with the shot, not being able to handle it cleanly, but it's in the knee pad, if you will, of Thomas. He leaves it there for a defenseman. And now up the floor with a head of steam will be Nathan Schultzke. Schultzke heads off to the bench now. Hartley into the near wall. From the top of the slot, Parent thought about taking the shot. It's out of the lap this time, though, of Jason Nugent. Nugent being put in a stranglehold, if you will, at mid-floor, coughs up the rock, and now numbers back the other way, led by Poirier and the Snipers. Poirier with the shot over the net of Thomas, though, and off the end wall, back the other way, turning the tide is Milligan. Milligan, the pass was just a little too hot to handle to his teammate, and I believe that was Fred Hartley he was trying to find. So Joe Sullivan, the head coach of the Timbermen, have to be happy so far. He's got assistant coaches like Jason Clark, Brad Lyons, and Jason Tass alongside him on the bench this afternoon. And his team has a 1-0 lead, and they see their New York native goaltender make another stop here early. As I mentioned, the Snipers are on a 5-game losing streak. Their last victory came 15-9 over the Ohsweken Bears back on Sunday, January 12th. McAlpine looking to go back to work here. He's coming off of one heck of a performance, 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points, and he was the #1 star in that 21-11 victory over the Riverwolves. Now Milligan, with time expiring, takes an innocent pass towards the net. He was being roughed up in a hurry that time from Jamie Downey. Now a wrist shot, if you will, from Zulian, beats Thomas on the far side. We're tied up 1-1 here with 10:39 remaining in the opening frame. Zulian stepped into that one. Had that far side corner labeled as he was coming into the Timbermen zone and made no doubts about it. His team is coming off of a tough 14-13 loss here at Children's Arena last Saturday to the Oshawa Outlaws. The Outlaws actually were outshot, if you will, 21-8, despite the fact that, well, the Snipers were leading 4-1 after the first and had a 8-4 lead into the second half. They let the game sort of slip away in the second half, if you will, and John St. John ended up scoring the game-winning goal with 2:49 left on the fourth quarter clock. So a 1-1 game here from Children's Arena early on your Saturday afternoon between the Peterborough Timbermen looking to improve on their 6-4 record and the Snipers looking to break out of a 5-game losing streak. Woods spinning around, taking a couple hacks, retreats the pass back to Hartley. Hartley busts his way through the defense. The rebound's there, and it's picked up by the Snipers' defense 5 minutes into the game. Brooker Moyer waits for some support in Thunder Hill. Hill into the slot. That's Hess with the shot. Denied by Thomas. Fresh 20 put on the clock for the Snipers. Hill, great pass, trying to go 5-hole that time. And unfortunately for the Snipers, they just couldn't get their lead restored on that last opportunity. Parker Sands, the assistant captain, looks like he was trying to do it all by himself. Tried to underhand a pass, though, to Jason Nugent, and the Snipers turned the tide back the other way with a head of steam. That's Downey with the low shot. Rebound scooped up, though, by, well, Downey. That's I-E to E-Y picking up the rebound. That's not confusing. McAlpine back into the Snipers zone. A little pitch and catch with Milligan. 9 remains here in the opening frame in a 1-1 contest from Children's Arena. In that far corner, looking to go back to work. And they're going to say the Timbermen get to keep the biscuit here. Milligan over to that far side. Hill on defense, gets blown by. Great shot, and they score! Fred Hartley, now you see him, now you don't. A little shake and bake action around Hill, gets to the goaltender. Oh yeah, it was the king of the Hill action. He beat the Hill on defense, he beat Hill in the net, and the Timbermen have their first taste of the lead here with 8:40 remaining in the opening frame. Timbermen, by the way, should be playing in Millbrook Arena, but it remains closed due to mold, so the Timbermen have made Children's Arena their home. But it is a place they should be familiar in their past because before they actually played in Peterborough back in the day, they did play here at Children's Arena. And they're 3-2 in this barn so far this season. So Zulian with a nice move tried to go short side on Thomas. They're going to say this deflected off of the goalie, though. Timbermen not agreeing with the officials. Again, your crew chief is Cortland Black, and you have Brad Fennell and Mike Melvin. Melvin, by the way, making his ALL officiating debut. Pilon back to the trailer. Great shot. And now the rebound's back the other way. Doherty, stopped by Hill. Rebounds picked off of the bench. Hill with another save. Doherty is down behind the play. Angus Rodding had another opportunity on Hill. And all eyes have to go into the end wall right now. And unfortunately, Doherty appears to be banged up. I think after releasing that shot on Hill, he was nudged into the end wall and might have gone in awkwardly. And with 8:02 remaining here in the opening frame and his team up 2-1, obviously concern goes to the Timbermen. You're watching Arena Lacrosse League action here on your Saturday afternoon. We'll be back after this brief break. Ben Doherty being assisted by the training staff to get off to the Timbermen bench here at Children's Arena with 8:02 remaining here in the opening frame. His team was trailing 1-0, but have now had a 2-1 lead. And I can't tell if it's a right wrist injury or if he got something down low because he's, holding that hand between his legs. There was no penalty on the play, so it's still 5-a-side lacrosse here with under 8 remaining in the opening frame. Thunder Hill started this play. Thomas makes the save. Looked to go long with it, but goes to the short side instead to a teammate in Nick Bafia. Bafia lost it, and then a kickball will give the Snipers the ball back. Thunder Hill on the near half wall, looks around at his options, goes across the blue carpet, and now the Snipers work it down low. The assistant captain with a no-looker that time. That was Wes Whitlow trying to get crafty. Whitlow, an Ohsweken, Ontario native, looking for his 12th goal of the season and tried the no-looker on the short side of Thomas. Thomas, as I mentioned before, comes into this game with a 3-0-0 record, a 12.47 goals against average. He's played 182 minutes between the pipes coming into this game. And opposing him is Dustin Hill. By the way, Dustin Hill now over 500 minutes between the pipes for the Snipers. Great passing by the Timbermen. Short-angled shot from Stone Jacobs. The Quebec native is denied by Hill with under 7 remaining here in the first. A tight defensive 2-1 game to start your Saturday action here in the Arena Lacrosse League's East Division. Elbert being hammered by Perron along the boards. They battle for the biscuit. Eventually it's pried loose, and now trying to turn the tide in the right direction was Brooker Moyer. Thunder Hill right in front of the goalie. Thunder Hill only the goalie to beat. He shoots. He scores. Thunder Hill ties this game up 2-2 with 6:34 remaining in the game. He's coming off of a contest where he had 4 points, including 2 goals, in that tough 1-goal loss to the Oshawa Outlaws here last Saturday. In fact, you could say that last game here at Oshawa was a King of the Hill style affair. Ross Hill grabbed a hat trick, Thunder Hill had 4 points, and Dustin Hill made 45 saves for the victory. So now here goes Sugahara. Sugahara with the bounce shot actually goes over the net, and he'll give the Timbermen the ball back. Last time we got the pleasure of calling, Sunahara in the action, he actually was just turning 30 years old, and he had fans coming in from Seattle and Philadelphia all the way to Oshawa, Ontario to watch him play. It looks like we're getting an H2O break here from Children's Arena with 6:21 remaining in a 2-2 contest. Welcome back to Children's Arena. Holden Lowe's opened up the scoring for the Peterborough Timbermen, responded by Mitch Zulian and Fred Hartley, and then Thunder Hill has made it a 2-2 game here as Woods, the Curtis, Ontario native who won 3 Meredith Cups in his junior career, gives it to McAlpine. Over to that far side, great pass to Milligan. Milligan was trying to go to that far corner on Hill and just missed the target. They're going to say Hill got a piece of it though as the clock reset. Now a low shot and they score! Now interesting, number 14, according to my sheet, is Zach Thompson. But Thompson, according to the staff before the game, is a scratch. So I'm a little scratching my head at that right now. So Peterborough makes it a 3-2 game here with just under 6 remaining in the opening frame. Back and forth we go from Children's Arena. Zulian to Stotts. Stotts looking around at his options. That's Jerry Stotts into the corner to Patterson. Jaden Patterson crosses the floor to Zulian. Zulian rips this one right off the cage that time of Thomas. Now it's Schultzke with the exit plan. Stage left, using his speed to race down into sniper territory. Schultzke looks like he might do it all himself. He draws the ire of two snipers, and he still has the rock. He's going to run this team right out of the building. He'll eventually go off for a line change and get applaud from his bench. Now Milligan, only 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Milligan looking around at his options, tries to go behind the play and loses the ball instead. Chandler Allen up the floor along with Brooker Moyer. Brooker Moyer trying to go 5-hole. Put down on his keister is the New York goaltender in Keegan Thomas, but he keeps the biscuit out. And now under 5 to go here in the opening frame, a 3-2 game for the Timbermen. Stone Jacobs looked like he was hooked on high. No call from the officials. We continue at 5-a-side lacrosse. That far side now, that's Angus Rotting. Rotting going to Woods. Woods couldn't handle it, though. Now off the boards, he gobbles it up. Only 5 seconds to do some damage. Woods goes behind the net. Woods, rough shot from Jamie Downey. Nice pass, but unfortunately they run out of time, and Brandenburg, along with the snipers, take over. Sniper looks a little banged up behind the play. That's Jamie Downey. So both teams have seen their players get roughed up so far. Ben Doherty got roughed up earlier by the Timbermen, and now you see Jamie Downey a little worse for wear as he hobbled to the sniper's bench. Now Pallon tries to go down low. They're going to say crease violation even if that head beat Thomas. Up the floor is the aforementioned Doherty. That's a good sign. Remember the last time we saw him on the blue carpet, he was laying along the end wall in the sniper's zone. Retreating and looking around at his options is Jansen Nugent. Now it's McAlpine. McAlpine looking to do some damage. The Oakville, Ontario native leaves it for a teammate. A stick goes flying in the air. That's Jerry Stotts. And lost in this hot potato lacrosse ball situation is the fact that the officials might be calling a penalty here. And they are. The sin bin doors open for the Peterborough Timbermen. So heading to the box for 2 or less will be Jeff McNulty. McNulty usually wears 19. We literally asked the team before the game, has anybody got any number changes? No, we were said, well, he's wearing Zach Thomason's 14. So the power play goes onto the floor for the snipers. Entering this game operating at 54%. But watch out for the Timbermen. They got a 42% penalty kill. Cam Milligan, he's got 1 shorthanded goal. Jack McAlpine has 2 shorthanded goals. And Aaron Woods also has 2 shorthanded goals. So even when they're down a man, watch out for the boys in blue with the red trim and white lettering and numbering. Woods trying to separate in the slot. 9 seconds left on possession. Milligan's shot deflected off of a sniper defender stick. Now in front of the bench, it's Milligan with a low shot trying to go to that far side. It missed Dustin Hill. And now 1:11 remains on the power play for Poirier and the snipers. Thunder Hill. Again, his team looking to capitalize on a power play that's operating at 54% coming into today's action. Great perimeter passing, but eventually it's bobbled out. That was Ross Hill, who had a hat trick last game. Now some backdoor passing to Thunder Hill. He'll be denied point blank from Thomas, I apologize. Short-handed Parker Sands just wisely gives it over to Lowe's, who opened up our scoring in this game. $1.49 into the contest. McAlpine grabs some separation. Man, oh man, that guy's got a laser beam. Would explain why he's leading the Timbermen with 25 goals. And he's got 60 points, a guy that's averaging 6 points per game so far for the Timbermen. And he helped the Trent Excaliburs win a 2022 Bagataway Cup championship. So 20 seconds left on the power play for the opening man advantage of the game for the Snipers. A great move, and they score! Wes Wetlow with his 12th goal of the season. This was a guy that had 12 points in all of last year. He's got 26 and counting. It's his 4th power play marker. Well, strap up your seatbelt, lacrosse fans. We're in for one heck of a game here on your Saturday afternoon as these teams continue to battle back and forth. It's now a 3-3 game with under 2 remaining here in the opening 15 minutes. So looking to build on their momentum after the power play goal are the Snipers, looking to break out of the 5-game losing streak. Thomas makes a nice save. The ball pries loose. The Snipers have their hand in the cookie jar and they pull out a snack. Pilon drops it back for the teammate. And now some pushing and shoving behind the play. And I think the official this time, and Brad Fennell, is going to send one from both teams. The sin bin doors open for both squads. It looks like Pilon has gone off for the Snipers and Doherty has gone off for the Timbermen. And I actually like that call from the officials here. You know, both teams were getting chippy behind the play over the last minute. And just to attempt to settle things down, if you will, is the official trying to take one from each side. You just know, though, if that continues to happen throughout this game, the official will start just to take one and make a statement. So Thunderhill, 4-on-4 lacrosse. The Snipers looking to gain the lead back, but they lose the ball. And back the other way comes Sands. Sands keeping it on his shorthand. Oh, my word, what a save by Dustin Hill. Sands had to protect the ball away from the man backtracking on his keister, but at the same time, he did a great job of protecting it enough. And now Ross Hill, as I mentioned before, coming off of a hat-trick performance last week here at Children's Arena, missed that last opportunity for Six Nations. Edwards, low pass, ends up in the lap of Milligan. Milligan tries to go low, denied by Hill. 40 seconds remains here in the opening frame. A 3-3 game and 4-on-4 lacrosse. The Snipers with real estate. Thomas with an excellent save. Trying to 360 his way off of Nathan Schultzke was Thunderhill, but he lost the ball, and now Lowe's turns on the Jets and breaks down the right side. Cuts into the middle, has options. Lowe's to a teammate, fired it just wide. That's McNulty, by the way, and now the other way, it's a breakaway, and they score! Oh, my captain, Mike McLaughlin, gets sent in on a break and makes no doubts about it, and with 10 seconds remaining in the opening frame, the Snipers are enjoying a 4-3 lead. Snipers, by the way, 0-2 here at Children's Arena. They had a tough 24-8 loss to Whippy in this barn, as well as I mentioned that 14-13 loss to Oshawa last week. Only 10 seconds remains, though, and they will have at least the lead heading into the second quarter of action. Trying to change that in a hurry, though, was Riley Morgan. His shot deflected off of some Snipers' legs, and the buzzer goes. 15 minutes of lacrosse is in the books here at Children's Arena on your Saturday afternoon. And it's the visiting Six Nations Snipers with the 4-3 lead, looking to break out of a 5-game losing streak. We'll be back with the second quarter of action after this quick break. Welcome back to Children's Arena. We still got 4-a-side lacrosse for the next 32 seconds to start the second frame. The last time these two teams played each other was back on Sunday, December 29th. The Snipers actually pulled away with an exciting 16-13 victory. Six Nations jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Peterborough, though, would only be trailing 4-3 after the first period. Ironically enough, we have a 4-3 score right now after the first period of play. And it was 8-7 for the Snipers at half. Six Nations, though, would score 5 times in the third to carry a 13-9 lead into the fourth. And the Timbermen would get as close as 15-13, but again, it was a 16-13 final as Thomas, who by the way did make an appearance in that game, it was Dustin Hill who made 44 saves to get the victory over the starting goaltender in Robertson, who played about 30 minutes, but Thomas roughly also played about 30 minutes in that contest. Now for the Snipers, a little bit of bad luck here. Clayton King, who had 5 points, and Jeremy Bomberry, who had 5 points to lead the Snipers in that game, both are scratches in this contest. For the Timbermen, though, Jack McAlpine along with Carson Moyer both had healthy 6+ point games. Dustin Hill with a fantastic save. We're back to even strength. Well, 5 aside, I should say, here at Children's Arena. Just a minute into the second quarter of action between the 3-7 Snipers and the 6-4 Timbermen. Thunder Hill, or I apologize, that's Ross Hill to the far wall. Backtracking and now looking to shoot this low is Thunder Hill. A bouncer's kept up by Thomas. The rebound's there, they score! Keelan Pilon was quick to hustle his way to the rebound that was just sitting there like a juicy steak, if you will, in the crease, and he gobbled it up. 13:45 remains here in the opening half of play, and the Snipers now have a 2-goal lead. Snipers enjoying goals from Mitch Zulian, Thunder Hill, and now more recently in Keelan Pilon. Here goes Stotts. That's Travis Stotts to Wes Whitlow. Whitlow scored a power play marker in that opening frame. And momentum seems to be in the favor of the Snipers right now as Patterson tries to creep down the wall, shot it right off of Stone Jacobs, but his teammate grabbed it back. 9 seconds remains. Thomas had to be sharp as the ball was laying between his legs, and he traps it with his stick. Timbermen cross into Six Nations territory. That's Downey trying to go across the floor. Lost it, but the ball had eyes. It came right back to him. Woods thinking about giving it to the near side to Hartley. Hartley to the near wall. That's McNulty. McNulty was trying to go down low with it, actually hit off of a Snipers defender. Now only 1 second left on the shot clock, and time runs out on the Timbermen. Six Nations will take over. So as I mentioned before, Clayton King, 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points. Jeremy Bomberry, 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. In the last encounter between these two teams, both of those guys, though, scratches for Coach Powless and the Snipers. Ross Hill tried to underhand this to his teammate, and Hess is annoyed at point-blank range. Thunder Hill was launched behind the play. And as a result, the Snipers are going to get the ball back. In fact, we'll go one further. The Snipers are going back to a power play. Heading off to the sin bin for 2 or less will be Sean Osborne. He roughed up Thunder Hill as his goalie and Thomas was making a nice save on that last play. Now remember, the Snipers already capitalized on their second man advantage of the game. They're 50% into this contest, entering at 54% on the season. Ross Hill, great save by Thomas, and in fact, it bounced off his defenseman and then bounced back into the goaltender. Sands lost it at mid-floor. Brandenburg to the near wall. 12 minutes remains here in the first half. $1:32 remains on the minor penalty to Osborne. Wes Whitlow, who has a power play goal already in this game. Passing it around the perimeter, that's Patterson at the top of the world. Patterson looking to get it back and does. A no-looker this time to Ross Hill. Over to a teammate and they score! The second power play goal of the game for the Snipers, and now they're doubling it up on the Timbermen. It's a 6-3 game from Children's Arena. Colton Armitage gets the power play marker. And again, the Snipers must be going off of that Sunday, December 29th affair where they beat these Timbermen 16-13 at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Because remember, they haven't had any traction as of late. They've lost 5 straight games. Now here's Sugahara with a laser beam. It's kept in by the Stotts. That's Travis Stotts, forced into the corner this time by Nick Bafia. Now to the far side. Cocked back to the floor to Patterson. Patterson to the top of the world. Trying to hammer this is Pilon, who's already got a goal in this contest. The Timbermen, led by Nick Boffia. Boffia puts on the brakes. Thought about giving it to McAlpine and eventually does. McAlpine, who's an Oakville, Ontario native, finds his teammate Angus Rodding. 10 seconds remains. A low shot by the captain. Milligan's denied by Hill. Allen leads the charge the other way for the Snipers, looking to retaliate immediately. No, check that. They're going to put on the brakes and wait for the chessboard to set up, so to speak, with 10:38 remaining here in the second frame. Ross Hill to Wes Whitlow. Whitlow with an in-and-out move. Whitlow trying to go on top. He's stopped by the goalie. Great job by the officials to make sure cooler heads prevail as Whitlow incidentally ran into the goaltender. And to be honest with you, I knew there was something was going to come out of that as Ben Doherty actually gave him some lip service as he was heading off to the bench behind the play. And it looks like the Snipers are getting a penalty out of that play. Interesting. So it looks like the Timbermen, down by 3, are going to a power play here on your Saturday afternoon. The Timbermen power play operating at 62% coming into today's game with their 6-4 record. Snipers penalty kill operating at 37%. Milligan, pitch and catch. They try to bar the door right through the middle. You can tell what the Timbermen were trying to do. Lure the Snipers into a false sense of security at the top of the slot and work it down low. Here they go back again. Milligan with a no-looker. Now they go behind the net. Trying to get this out in front. Travis Stott said absolutely not to Cam Milligan. And I apologize, I was actually 77, Aaron Woods, who was thrown down to the blue turf. So no, Stotts tells everybody to calm down. His team is down short-handed, but up on the scoreboard 6-3. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. You can see Stotts on the near wall trying to direct traffic, but not listening is his teammate who actually loses it to the Peterborough goalie. 1 minute remains on the power play for the Timbermen. Down by 3 with 9:24 remaining here in the second frame. Woods gives it back to Milligan to the near side. A little pitch and catch with Hartley. Milligan with a laser beam off the end wall. It hit traffic though. And they're going to say, no, this is Snipers' ball if they want to go down and get it. And Zulian, I think that was crafty because his team is shorthanded, purposely waited because then his team has fresh legs off the bench. 35 seconds remains of the man advantage. For the Snipers, there's another penalty coming up in this game as Dustin Hill shoots off to the bench. So technically 5 aside here for the Six Nations Snipers, and Peterborough can't touch the ball. Wisely, they're going to try and dribble as much out of this as possible to extend their power play. Now a big save off of Ross Hill, or Thunderhill, I apologize, who grabbed his own rebound. So 4 seconds away from the penalty ending for the Snipers, and then with the extra attacker, it's technically 6-on-5 hockey. Thunderhill tried a little hidden ball trick to Wes Whitlow to the far side. Now that's Patterson. Patterson through traffic, ends up hitting traffic though, and the shot clock hits. So the Snipers with golden opportunities to get number 7 on the board that time with 5-on-4 with a net empty, then 6-on-5 with the same situation after the penalty ended. Regardless, their power play is going to go back to work as Jensen Walker heads off to the sin bin for 2 or less. So the Snipers with a 6-3 lead with 8:10 remaining in the second frame. Patterson backtracks, takes the shot, squeezing this one with the left glove and the left leg was Thomas. Now Thomas tries to go all the way up the floor to Lowe's. Lowe's has the stick chopped right out of his hands. Remember, it was Holden Lowe's that started off the scoring here, $1:41 into the game. Wes Whitlow, give and go with his teammate who faked the shot, then eventually pulls the trigger. That was Hill. Timbermen grab it at mid-floor. That's Stone Jacobs. Jacobs to some teammates fresh off the bench, and Woods to McAlpine. Just missed the net behind Dustin Hill. Woods trying to settle down the bouncing rock. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Woods to McAlpine. Cam Milligan fresh off the bench. McAlpine with the shot well wide to the left side of Hill. The shot clock will go, and Six Nations takes back over with 56 seconds left on the man advantage. And check that, because heading off to the sin bin is Travis Stotts. And it's a slashing penalty to Stotts. So we'll get back to 4-a-side lacrosse for 56 seconds. And it looks like an H2O break has been called by the officials with 7:15 remaining here in the opening half of play from Children's Arena. Back to the action here at Children's Arena. It's Arena Lacrosse League action in the East Division between the 6-4 Peterborough Timbermen and the 3-7 Six Nations Snipers. The Snipers, looking to break out of a 5-game losing streak, currently have a 6-3 lead here with 7:05 remaining in the opening half. It's 4-a-side lacrosse for the next 40 seconds. Milligan tried to bar through the door. I think they're calling a crease violation that time, and as a result, Six Nations can retaliate back the other way. It's Jerry Stotts with Travis Stotts sitting in the sin bin for the Snipers. 26 seconds remains of 4-a-side lacrosse, and then it will be the Timbermen enjoying a brief power play. Patterson cuts into the slot, was trying to find Whitlow and does, and they score! Wes Whitlow with a second helping, but Patterson with a cute little apple. 4-a-side lacrosse, and it's a touchdown on the board for the Snipers. Can you tell I miss football already? It's a touchdown and a field goal, if you will, here from Children's Arena on your Saturday afternoon. So 4-a-side lacrosse, and that was such a pivotal goal for Wes Whitlow, who had a power play goal earlier and then scores 4-a-side there after a great pass from Patterson. Mainly because the Timbermen are 10 seconds away from going back to a power play, and they thought, okay, we can cut into a 3-goal lead. Well, now they got to cut into a 4-goal lead. Timbermen averaging 14.9 goals per game and have a plus 18 goal differential coming into this game. The third highest offense in the ALL East with 149 goals forward. Thomas with an excellent save on McNulty on the short side. Tries to go up the floor. Missed a teammate though, and then Stone Jacobs plays this off the wall to Hartley. 42 seconds left on a Peterborough Timbermen power play. Again, they entered this game with a power play operating at 62%. Hartley to Woods, the Curtis, Ontario native, back to Hartley, back to Woods. Woods into the corner. Short side stop by Dustin Hill, and now technically numbers back the other way for the Snipers. But they're gonna say an illegal substitution sent in Thunder Hill. It gives Peterborough the ball back with 22 seconds left, and the sin bin door opening for Six Nations. So too many men on the floor called against Six Nations. They have a 4-goal lead, but now we get 5-on-3 lacrosse favoring the Timbermen for 22 clicks. A golden opportunity to crawl back into this game, down by 4. This is a Timberman squad entering 3rd place in the East Division. Woods to Milligan. Woods thought about taking the shot, gives it to McNulty. Back to Woods, tried to short side at that time to a teammate in Jensen Nugent. They backtrack it all the way to mid-floor to Stone Jacobs. Only 3 seconds left on the first penalty. And a crease violation this time by the Snipers will give them the ball back. But fresh out of the penalty box is Stotts. Stotts, I think they opened that door just a little too early, and they're going to send him back. You know, like a Gigi, a racehorse, just trying to be the first out of the gate. He was so eager to get out there. He technically needs to be in there for one more Mississippi. So Milligan in that far corner asking his coaching staff and Joe Sullivan, what exactly are we doing here with this brief 5-on-3 that quickly turns into a 5-on-4 as Stotts enters the frame from your left side. McAlpine to the near wall. McAlpine in the high slot. Still cocks it back, takes the shot. I think Dustin Hill might have got a piece of that. And it goes into the rafters. In fact, no, they're going to say it missed the net. So that gives the Snipers the biscuit back with $1.25 left on the man advantage for Peterborough. Armitage, who's already got a goal in this game, make it 2. A short-handed rendition for Armitage, and his team has an 8-3 lead. Colton Armitage, who opened up the scoring here in the second frame for the Snipers, just grabbed a short-handed marker. As I mentioned, for the Snipers, they came in with a penalty kill only operating at 37%. Guys that do get shorthanded goals, like a Jeremy Bomberry, who's unavailable, also leads the team in 16 goals and 34 points. Briley Maxwell also had a shorthanded goal. Well, it doesn't matter. Colton Armitage gets it done, and now it's an 8-3 lead for the Snipers, looking to break out of that 5-game losing skid. The Timbermen still on the power play for 57 more seconds. Milligan on the high slot to the far corner to Woods. Woods tried to throw it into traffic, and it ricochets off of some people. Now McAlpine. He'll be stuffed. And now Six Nations back the other way again. It's Zulian, short-handed to his teammate off of the bench. Thunderhill with a jump shot through the crease. Trying to go down low, and Thompson says no, or Thomas says no. Keegan Thomas, a New York native, 3-0-0 entering today's game with a 12.47 goals against average. But man, oh man, he finds his team down 8-3 so far in this game. 17 seconds left on the power play. Hartley trying to make a move. Gives it down low to Milligan. Milligan looked around to the near corner. Diving in is Woods, denied by Hill. Allen incidentally plays this into the mesh. It will give the Timbermen the ball back, but the penalty is over. Back to 5 aside. Milligan scores! Top cheddar because it tastes better. Cam Milligan, who now has a league-leading 76 points on the campaign. It's his 21st goal. He came in with 7.5 points per game. Now, what's interesting, he led the team with 9 power play goals. That wasn't a power play marker, though. The Snipers were coming out of the box, and literally Cam Milligan looked over his shoulder and went, oh, okay, I'm just going to shoot it anyway. And at least he's cut the lead in half. It's an 8-4 game for the Snipers with 3:28 remaining here in the second frame. Bafia. He's going to wait for some support off the bench as there's some personnel change from Joe Sullivan. Now Milligan looking for a second, helping the rebounds there. And Dustin Hill, not once, but twice. Now Wes Whitlow up the floor. Whitlow with the bounce pass to Ross Hill coming off of the bench. Whitlow's down on the floor, slow to get up. Now Ross Hill spinning around off of some Timbermen defenders. Pilon had it miss him. Whitlow had it miss him. Who's going to pick it up? It's the Timbermen with an exit plan. Up the floor to Milligan. Milligan! Oh my word, what a kick save that time from Dustin Hill. As losing the ball and losing the stick was Jensen Nugent. Wittich back the other way, tried to go to that top corner. Thomas denies it. Back and forth we go from Children's Arena. Back the other way come the Timbermen. Hill tried to get his hand in the cookie jar, but nothing was there. Instead, it's his teammate McLaughlin getting it up the floor to Zulian. Zulian denied by Thomas. And again, where's the oxygen tank for these guys? As now it's Schultzke. Schultzke denied by Hill. And wisely trapped by Stotts to get it up the floor to his teammate Brooker Moyer. Moyer will hit neutral, you would think, as he's waiting for some support off of the bench. Poirier, or that's Pilon, I apologize, losing Jensen Walker in the dust. 90 seconds remains before the halftime break. Not being able to handle the passes, Pilon. Pilon roughed up by Riley Morgan. And now down by 4 with $1:18 left before the halftime break. It's Woods and the Timbermen trying to orchestrate some offense. Milligan, who has the last goal of the game for the Timbermen. To Woods. Woods with space. Point blank denial from Dustin Hill. McLaughlin, who's got a goal in this game, up the floor to Hess. Hess trying to spin off of a defense that time of Angus Rotting. McLaughlin to Ross Hill, fresh off the bench. Hill to the near side to Hess. 45 seconds left in the opening half. Hess finding a seam, stopped by Thomas. The rebound's there and they score! Oh me, oh my. Roll the highlight film. I believe that's Wes Whitlow with the hat trick. 40.4 seconds remains here before halftime. Wes Whitlow grabbed the recycling bin, if you will, and got it to the curb. So I think a lot of shocked faces here at Children's Arena, to be honest with you. They did not anticipate a 9-4 lead for the Snipers here, considering the Timbermen enter at 6-4, and the Snipers are on a 5-game losing streak with a 3-7 record. 23 seconds left on the clock. Up by 5. The Snipers looking to add more. Patterson into the teeth. Pilon tries to go low. And the officials point that the ball just was kept out by the New York goaltender and Thomas. A timeout is called on the floor by Coach Sullivan. We'll see what the Timbermen can draw up here. Sullivan, remember, was a 2012 NLL Coach of the Year back with the Minnesota Swarm. He actually won a Minto Cup during his playing days with the Peterborough Maulers back in 1989. And in fact, he was an OLA Senior B Coach of the Year back in 2004 for the Ennismore Shamrocks. So we'll see what Coach Sullivan and the Timbermen draw up and have in store for us with the final minute of play looming. Nations enters this game averaging 12.8 goals per game and have a minus 31 goal differential. They've put up 128. They've given up 159. And yet here at Children's Arena on your Saturday afternoon, they have a 9-4 lead with 14.4 seconds left before the halftime break. The Timbermen put Thomas on the bench. It's 6-on-5 for the Timbermen to draw out the opening half of play. The Curtis, Ontario native, and Aaron Woods creeps it into the floor. Down low, trying to find McNulty. The biscuit rolls around, and the buzzer goes. So after half an hour of lacrosse, Arena Lacrosse League action in the East Division here in Oshawa, Ontario, it's a bit of a shocker, folks. The 3-7 Six Nations Snipers, who are on a 5-game losing streak, have a healthy 5-goal lead. It's 9-4 for the Snipers over the Timbermen. We'll see what the second half has in store after this. Welcome back to Children's Arena. It's a 9-4 lead for the visiting Six Nations Snipers, looking to snap out of a 5-game losing skid against the Peterborough Timbermen, entering today's action with a 6-4 record, sitting in third place in the East Division. In that opening half of play, goals supported from Holden Lowe's, Jeff McNulty, and Fred Hartley, as well as Cam Milligan, who now has 3 points in this contest. By the way, that includes 2 assists, so now he's got a league-leading 57 assists this season and 78 points. For the Snipers, Ross Hill with 3 assists, Colton Armitage with a goal and an assist, Thunder Hill with a goal and 2 assists, and Wes Whitlow with the hat trick all had 3 points in that opening frame. An excellent pickoff by the Snipers. That will allow them an exit plan through Brooker Moyer. Thunder Hill over to that far corner. I believe that's Ross Hill. Ross Hill looking around at his options. No, I apologize. That's Jaden Patterson. Patterson receives a pick. Patterson with some space. Patterson shoots it low. Thomas thrown down to his backside. Still kept the ball out. So you imagine for the Timbermen, they're going to look to respond in a hurry here in the third, down by 5. Hartley into the Snipers zone. Looks to exploit the play to the right side now. Backtracks at the Woods. Back to Hartley. Hartley with some space, and he was trying to go to that top corner. Back with the biscuits, Woods. Woods with the low shot. Actually ricochets off of Allen and into the near corner. And the officials are calling a hold here. So Poirier's going to head off to the sin bin for 2 or less for the Snipers for the holding infraction. 1 minute and 4 seconds into the second half of action. And now the Timbermen, who as I mentioned before had a 62% power play coming into today's game, look to go back to work. I think about that Cam Milligan goal. It won't count as a power play marker as the Stotts penalty had just expired. So with $1.50 remaining on the power play, it's now the Snipers defense, but they're going to call a crease violation that time. So even if Fred Hartley had scored there, they wouldn't have counted it. Now it's Moyer. Moyer putting on the brakes, looking to stop, pop, and lock it. No, he's continuing to backtrack it. And eventually, off of the bench, it's Pilon. So Poirier sitting in the sin bin for the Snipers. Pilon short-handed with only 9 seconds left on the shot clock. $1.20 left on the Timbermen power play. Moyer with the high shot, ricochets off of the glass and goes over and back. So the Timbermen will send out their number 1 power play unit, if you will, with 1:16 left to work, down by 5. Woods out of the near corner, backtracks it to Milligan at the top of the world. Little pitch and catch between him and McNulty. McNulty with the shot, shoulder shrugged away by Hill. Rebound collected by Woods. Woods back to Milligan. Milligan with a pitch and catch with McAlpine. Now Moyer can't handle it off the wall. The Snipers do. Short-handed on a breakaway. It's Zulian in alone. Throws it just wide right of Thomas. 46 seconds left on the power play. Zulian, who already has a goal in this game, had a short-handed marker, you think, on a platter that time, but unfortunately missed the shot to the right side of the goalie. As this shot misses, Fred Hartley looks a little bit disgusted that time. It's a turnover that gives Six Nations the ball back, and more importantly, only 28 seconds left on the power play for the Timbermen, down by 5. Armitage, he's already got 2 goals and an assist in this game. To the far side to Ross Hill, already 3 apples in the contest. Now to Thunderhill. Thunderhill already with 3 points as well. He's going to backtrack. A little hill-on-hill action here as Ross and Thunder go to work. Thunderhill looks up at the shot clock. Thunderhill finds a seam, tried to shoot this one low, and he had a short-handed opportunity denied by Thomas. It hit off of Thomas, remember, though, and went into the mesh, so that gives Six Nations the ball back. It kills off the remainder of the penalty. 5-a-side lacrosse, and now we got a penalty coming up to Peterborough. Dustin Hill off to the bench. 6-on-5 for Coach Powless and the Snipers. A low shot by Ross, trying to keep it out. And they're going to say, as the goalie was backtracking and knocking the net off, he still did a great job of tiptoeing around the ball and keeping it over the goal line. So Osborne giving a bit of a mouthful to the officiating as he heads off to the sin bin for the second time on your Saturday afternoon. 11:35 remains here in the third with a 5-goal lead. The Snipers will go back to a power play. And it's a cross-checking penalty to Osborne. So once again, the Snipers 5-on-4 advantage here for the next $1.55 or less. Thunderhill on the near side to the top of the world to Patterson, to Wes Whitlow. Whitlow back to Patterson. Whitlow trying to provide a screen. Now Thunderhill. As there's another penalty behind this play. Thomas almost knocked the net off, but regardless, as Parker Sands touched the ball, he's going to head off to the sin bin to join Osborne. So down by 5 for Coach Sullivan and the Timbermen. Things go from bad to worse as there's a slashing penalty coming here. The Snipers, with a 5-goal lead, will get a 5-on-3 advantage for the next minute and 36 seconds. Whitlow to Patterson to Thunderhill. Pitch and catch with Thunderhill out of the near corner, and I believe that's Moyer. Now Thunderhill. Or that's Armitage. Right off the crossbar that time was Patterson, collected by Thunderhill. Fresh 20 put on. Colton Armitage to Patterson. Down low, denied. Thomas had to be sharp, and he was. 1:08 remains, a 5-on-3 for the Snipers, looking to add to their 5-goal lead. Great passing, but not being able to handle it last second was Colton Armitage. Patterson back to Armitage. Great passing now. Thunderhill, low shot. And once again, Thomas, he's had to be the sharpest Peterborough player here in the second half, and he certainly has. He's kept it a 9-4 game. Now back into the zone is Travis Stotts. Armitage, huge shot, and they score! Thomas got a piece of it, but it wasn't enough. 5-on-3 makes the Timbermen pay. It's the 10th goal of the game for the Snipers, and they have a 6-goal lead. It's Colton Armitage's hat-trick goal and his 4th point of the game. So Wes Whitlow and Colton Armitage, both with hat tricks so far for the Snipers. And with 10:14 left in the third period, a 10-4 lead for the Snipers. Oh yeah, and they still have a minute and 3 seconds left of a power play, as the official looked like they got in the way of Sugahara, but instead they're calling Riley Morgan on a penalty. Oh my word, the march to the sin bin continues for the Peterborough Timbermen here in the second half. After they just got scored on 5-on-3, they're going back to 5-on-3, are the Six Nations Snipers. 55 seconds of 5-on-3. They just scored in this situation, so the Snipers looking to duplicate it. Wes Whitlow to Thunderhill. Thunderhill cocks it and misses the net. Ricochets off of the end wall and into the rafters. The Timbermen get the ball. Short-handed. Stone Jacobs with a cold shoulder to Wes Whitlow, and then backtracks it to his teammate, Jensen Nugent. Nugent spinning off of Thunderhill. Nugent down the near wall, looks up at the board, 14 seconds left on the shot clock, retreats it back to Stone Jacobs, who gives it back to him. Nugent, short-handed with the low shot. Dustin Hill got a piece of it, so this will remain in the Timbermen's lap. Nugent crosses the floor to Milligan, the captain directing traffic. 13 seconds left of 5-on-3, then it'll be 5-on-4, still in favor of the Snipers. Short-handed though. Again, you have Nugent. Nugent slashed at twice, took a high chop, and just flips this one down. In fact, I think that hit the scoreboard here in Children's Arena. Hope it's okay. 54 seconds left of 5-on-4 lacrosse for the Snipers. They scored earlier on 5-on-3. They didn't score this last time on 5-on-3, and yet they still have this extended power play, but they lose the handle of the rock and allows the Timbermen an exit plan through Bafia. Bafia looking to do it all himself, eventually gives it to a teammate. Thought about taking the shot and does. It's Stone Jacobs, and he scores! Short-handed. Stone Jacobs decides to go down low and cuts the lead in half. It's a 10-5 game. The Timbermen have the third highest offense in the East Division with 149 goals for, the third best defense with only 136 goals against. That's just 6 more than number 1 Whitby Steelhawks. And yet they're going to need a lot more of that. Stone Jacobs with the short-handed marker. Still 27 seconds left of the man advantage, though, for the Snipers. Sugahara battles for it at mid-floor. Lost it, but his team got it back. There's Stotts looking to rip it. He scores! Travis Stotts. Blink and you miss it. Mere seconds after the Stone Jacobs short-handed goal, Stotts gets a power play goal, and now it's an 11-5 game. Travis Stotts, I mean, there was a jamboree for the ball right off of the face-off. Sugahara actually lost it. Somehow went right back into the lap, though. As Sugahara gets a face-off violation there. It gives the ball to Morgan and the Timbermen. So Milligan directing traffic, leading the league right now with 78 points. Hartley fires this one wide of Dustin Hill, and actually it's a souvenir as kids run after the ball here at Children's Arena. Who's going to get it? They got lacrosse sticks too. That's not fair. They got to get that ball autographed after the game now. As the snipers are denied by Thomas. Long distance shot thrown in there. And now Woods looking to come back the other way with numbers for Peterborough. Woods, high pass from Edwards, has to be settled down. But it's actually the snipers pulling away with the rock. Wittich, 2-on-1, make it 3-on-1 if they hustle. Thomas with the diving stop down low. That was Vandenberg denied by Thomas. Now Schulznitsky to Woods. Woods scores. Aaron Woods breaks this up. It's his 13th goal of the campaign, coming in averaging 4.7 points per game. And man, oh man, did the Timbermen ever need that. They were trailing at halftime. It seemed to be a dominant sniper third frame so far, large in part to all the penalties that the Peterborough Timbermen have been taking. But as a result, Woods finally has the marker that the Peterborough Timbermen have been looking for to break up momentum. A slash on the Stone Jacobs undetected by the officials. Downey, he'll go off to the bench for fresh legs. Looking around at his options was Angus Rodding to the captain and Milligan. Now Stone Jacobs with some real estate shoots this wide, and it ricochets off the rafters, giving the snipers the ball back. 7 minutes remains here in the third period. The officials are going to call an H2O break, though, here from Children's Arena, as the Six Nations Snipers, who are looking to break out of a 5-game losing streak, are leading by 5 with just under 7 to go. 7 minutes remains here in the third frame. It's a 5-goal lead for the visiting Six Nations Snipers, who enter with a 3-7 record. They're technically 0-2 here at Children's Arena. They lost a tough 24-8 game to Whitby, and also a tougher one, 14-13 to Oshawa last week. Thunder Hill right into the chest of Thomas. The rebound pops loose, and it's gobbled up by the goaltender. He tries to get it up to his assistant captain in Sands. Sands bounces it through the halfway marker to Hartley. Hartley using his speed. Great stop by Dustin Hill to his left side. Off of the rebound, though, once again. Oh, it was Perrott. Lost it last second. Stotts. No looker to Moyer. Moyer has Poirier up the floor, puts on the brakes instead, and finds somebody in tow in Colton Armitage, who's got 3 goals and 1 assist so far in this game. Looking for his 5th point of the game on this possession. Moyer takes a bit of a high stick, keeps on trucking. Moyer flips this to Poirier. Poirier with 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Poirier spins off of the defender, stopped by Thomas. Now in that far corner, it is the Timbermen collecting themselves. Lowells, who scored the first of the 17 goals in this game so far. A no-look backhander that time, denied at point-blank range. That was Jack McAlpine. Vandenberg puts on the brakes in this near corner. Avoiding Downey along the end wall. Met by Stone Jacobs. Bounces this one back to half. That's Thunder Ross. Or Thunder Hill, I apologize. Thunder Hill gets some space. Thunder Hill thought about taking the shot and spins back instead. Now takes an innocent shot, stopped by Thomas. I don't think Thomas, though, saw the shot. He just reacted to the save. 5:05 remains here in the third frame. Things getting physical along the near wall as Travis Stotts hits Stone Jacobs. The Timbermen looking to draw back into this game. This deflected off of a stick. as Dustin Hill, I think, has a bit of an equipment issue, and he does. He needs the bunny ears, the shoelaces on the right foot there. Looks like McLaughlin, his teammate, talk about a great teammate in that, using his leg as a footstool, if you will, and his other teammate's going to help him tape it down. That's teamwork, folks. That's how you support your goaltender. Dustin Hill came into this game, as I mentioned, with a 3-5-0 record, a 15.29 goals against average. He was a second-team All-Star last year in 2024 here in the Arena Lacrosse League, and actually played for the Six Nations Rivermen during their exciting 20-3 campaign a couple years ago. So Thunderhill to Patterson. Patterson avoids the defense and stands. Patterson's shot, though, deflects off of a stick, and Schultzky comes back the other way with a head of steam, just wide on the right side. And that would have been a huge one to draw his team within 4. Instead, it's the Snipers looking to increase on their 5-goal lead and again trying to snap out of a 5-game losing streak. Pilon with the long shot. Diving at it was Thomas. I missed him, though, and the net. So this ball will eventually be given to the Timbermen by the officials. And again, you have your crew chief in Cortland Black Rojo, as well as Brad Fennell and Mike Melvin. Melvin's actually making his ALL officiating debut, although we've seen him a time and time again in the NLL. Woods was denied by Dustin Hill, but there is a holding penalty coming from behind the play. And it looks like Stotts is going to the bench. That's Jerry Stotts. So a pivotal man advantage coming up here for the Timbermen, down by 5 with 4:01 remaining here in the third. You'd imagine guys like Cam Milligan have to be a threat with their team leading 9 power play goals. McAlpine has 5 power play goals. Here's Milligan to McAlpine. Unfortunately, misses the shot well high and wide. Hartley to McAlpine. Back to Milligan. Milligan trying to find a seam. They're going to say an illegal pick was set, and it will give the Snipers shorthanded the biscuit back. $1:40 remains here on the man advantage for Peterborough. Thunderhill, who's already had one heck of a game for the Snipers. 1 goal and 2 assists so far in this contest. He has the ball right now with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. 1:18 remains on the power play here. Thunderhill wants a call from the officials, and they're going to get it. As Dustin Hill's gone off to the sin bin, Colton Armitage grabbed the rebound, and there's a fresh clock. Now he's being mauled by 3 Timbermen. They're treating him like a giant oak tree as they cut him down to the floor. 3:03 remains here in the third. Man, oh man, there was a power play for the Timbermen, and I think it just went by the wayside with Holden Lowe's heading off to the sin bin. So it was a holding penalty to Lowe's. We're going to get 4-a-side lacrosse for the next minute and 2 seconds of the 3:03 left here in the third. By the way, the Snipers are next back in action next Sunday against the Paris Riverwolves. That game takes place at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena at 4 p.m. Colton Armitage has already got a hat trick in this game. That pass is gobbled up by Thomas, who no-looks it to his defender in Stone Jacobs. Jacobs at stage left, crosses over mid-floor with his speed, and then bounces us back to his captain in Milligan. To the near wall to Woods. Woods with some separation. Just stymied by Moyer, the defender, and the goaltender in Dustin Hill. Now Woods. Pass was a little too high for his teammate. In fact, it went over the boards that time and gives the Snipers the rock back. He was trying to find Angus Rodding was Aaron Woods, but man, a little too much mustard on that one. Pilon, along with his teammates, looking to go back to work. Moyer backdoor, just couldn't cap it off. He's looking for his first points of the game. In fact, they're going to say it was a crease violation even if he had somehow capped off that play, so the Timbermen take back over. Only 2 seconds left on the power play, or to Stotts, I should say, the penalty to Stotts. And now we get a power play for the Snipers, but it's the Timbermen short-handed with the biscuit. Jared Downey down the near wall. Great backdoor pass, and it's off the pipe. The best friend dressed in red bails out Dustin Hill. It was McNulty looking for his second goal of the game. 40 seconds left on the Snipers power play, but again, short-handed, down by 5. It's the Curtis, Ontario native, and Woods trying to go to work. Woods finds some separation. Man, oh man, he almost did it all by himself. Instead, Poirier zigzags his way out of his defensive end, gives this to his assistant captain in Whitlow, who bounces it over to the near side to Thunderhill. Backtracks this to Pilon. 18 seconds left on the shot clock. That's Jaden Patterson back to Whitlow. Whitlow fakes the pass, fired the shot off the end wall. Over and back will give the Timbermen the biscuit back. 1:12 now remains here in the third period of play. Stone Jacobs and his team. Great pass to Milligan, and he scores! A highlight of the night-style goal. Jacobs found Milligan. Milligan with the no-looker, his second goal of the game. And this is a guy now with 79 points leading the ALL. A key goal in so many ways. You just felt like this third frame has been dominated by the Snipers, despite the fact that they had a 5-game losing streak coming into this game and are 0-2 in this barn known as Children's Arena. You could throw all that out the window as Sunahara wins the draw, and it's Zulian and the Snipers looking to, well, get back to the score sheet with already 11 goals in this game. Remember, the Snipers averaged 12.8 goals per game coming into this contest with a minus 31 goal difference, as Thomas with a huge save that time on Colton Armitage looking for his 4th marker of the contest. 40 seconds left in the period. Great job by Lowe's. He's denied, though, by Dustin Hill. Remember, Holden Lowe's had the opening goal of this game. And now the Timbermen take advantage of a Six Nations miscue. It's Bafia off of the locker room wall, if you will, of the Snipers into the lap of Woods. 18 seconds left, and the goalie's gone off to the bench. Now that net is empty, remember. The Timbermen have to get back. Zulian with the empty net scores! Zulian gets technically an empty net goal, but the goalie had Ryan back onto the floor from the bench. That's his second goal of the game. Coach Sullivan and the Timbermen were trying to take advantage of the final 30 seconds by pulling their goalie and have the extra attacker. It absolutely backfired. The Snipers grabbed the rock, looked to head up north. Oh yeah, there was an empty cage staring Zulian in the face, and he goes, I know what to do with this thing. Long distance charges may apply. Zulian with his second of the game. So Stone Jacobs, as the clock's expiring, stick save by Hill, and now Morgan, they're gonna mix it up in front of the goaltender. Poirier didn't like how Morgan had taken an extra hack at Hill, who came out to make the stop in the dying seconds of this third frame. Poirier calling over some of the Timbermen, including Osborne and Morgan. In fact, they're giving a penalty to Poirier, and it looks like he's the lone penalty to come out of this, as the Peterborough door has remained shut. And I believe Cam Milligan might have just been given the gate. He was talking with the official on the way to the bench, and I believe they teed him up. The captain's still on the bench, mind you, with his water bottle in hand. Peterborough, as there are some cooler heads that need to prevail right now for the Peterborough Timbermen. Can't repeat the words that are being said over the air, but man, oh man, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Maple Leafs last year in the playoffs when you saw that infamous clip of Nylander and Matthews and Marner all sort of complaining to each other. You're starting to see that out of Cam Milligan and Osborne and Morgan. So we will try and organize all of this after 3 periods of action from Children's Arena, lost in all of it, It's a 12-7 lead for the Snipers, looking to end their 5-game losing skid. We'll be back to see how the officials orchestrate this for the fourth and final quarter. Welcome back to Children's Arena. It's a 12-7 game for the visiting Six Nations Snipers. Here with a 5-goal lead, though, looking to snap out of a 5-game losing streak. And after a bit of a melee to end the third frame, it looks like it's going to be a man advantage, though, favoring the Timbermen. And by the way, I have to beg your pardon, Cam Milligan did not get kicked out, obviously, because he has the ball right now. But there was something said between him and the official that made me think that the misconduct of some kind had been handed out. Milligan denied by Dustin Hill. Rebound collected by Woods, back to Milligan. No looker to Woods. Woods into the chest this time of Dustin Hill, who looks to extend the play up north to Stotts. Stotts with the oven mitts couldn't handle the pass right away and eventually settles it down for Moyer. So a $120 remains of a man advantage here for the Timbermen. The Stotts and the Six Nations Snipers get a face masking penalty. And what was interesting too was, again, Dustin Hill went out to make the save. He was bumped in by Riley Morgan. Morgan was then pushed out of the way by Poirier, who did grab his face mask. That was safe to say. But then a melee broke out, and then a lot of, lip service, mainly from the Timberman bench towards Cortland Black, Brad Fennell, and Mike Melvin, your officials today. And yet, somehow, some way, they come away with the power play. So Milligan, no looker. Tried to backdoor teammate, settled down to Hartley. Hartley crosses it over, low shot to McAlpine. Stopped by Thomas. And now we get a bit of a malfunction on the clock. The officials are brought to the scorer's table. So there's 13:29 remaining here in the fourth. Technically 30 seconds left on the power play for the Timbermen. And I think what the officials here are trying to orchestrate is who comes out of the sin bin when. Because remember, Osborne is in there after that melee, and there is another sniper in the box as well. So Milligan and the Timbermen's power play that came in operating at 62% go back to work, looking to cut into this 5-goal deficit. It's Milligan with the laser. It's stopped, though, by Hill. McNulty. His pass is intercepted, though. And now Zulian with a hefty little head fake gets some separation. Short-handed. Zulian to a teammate, and they score! That's Jerry Stotts with the short-handed goal with literally 1 second left in the man advantage. But Mitch Zulian, he's the one that read the Timberman pass, used the head fake to get separation to get out of his own zone, used his speed to utilize it to get into the Timbermen's territory, and then set up his teammate and Jerry Stotts on a silver platter, who gobbled it up with glee. So 2 minutes into this fourth frame, it's now a 6-goal lead for Six Nations here on your Saturday afternoon. Six Nations, as I mentioned, averaged 12.8 goals per game coming into this contest. They just hit lucky number 13. Travis Stotts, after seeing Jerry Stotts just score short-handed moments ago. In fact, both Stotts are on the floor right now, and both Stotts are going to check off the floor for the Six Nations Snipers. So Jaden Patterson cocks it back and just misses the earlobe that time of Thomas. Thomas denies the rebound too. It is interesting to note that Jackson Hanier as well as Ethan Robertson are not available today for Joe Sullivan and the Timbermen. If they want to replace Keegan Thomas, it'll be the rookie in Gavin Williamson, dressed in number 30 today, that would go in. Hill has this ball elude him, and now the Timbermen from behind the cage, a wraparound by Milligan is denied. Snipers up the floor. Putting on the brakes, though, is Allen. He's going to head off to the bench. Randenberg looks to do the same, as now fresher legs come on to the fret for the Snipers and their coach and Darcy Powless. Ross Hill, who's coming off of a 4-point game, trying to go low. Stopped by Thomas. Rebounds collected by his stick. Tries to send it up the floor to Sands. Sands has to grab it off of the end wall. Back to Bafia. Bafia with 20 seconds left on the shot clock is going to put on the brakes on this play and give it to his captain and Cam Milligan. Milligan to McAlpine. Back to Milligan. Milligan tried to go low, and that was McNulty with a changeup that time trying to fool Dustin Hill. Now McAlpine to McNulty. Trying to get it back to Milligan, but it goes off of a sniper, and a holding penalty is coming up here. So Zulian, no, he's heading off to the bench. It's Hess that's actually getting the 2-minute penalty. Or serving it, I should say, is it's actually a too many men on the floor penalty actually being addressed to the Six Nations Snipers. 11:05, or sorry, I apologize, illegal substitution is the official's call. It'll be Hess serving the minor penalty. His team does have a 6-goal lead, though, but here they got to be careful. Their penalty kill only operating at 37% so far this year, and now it's the Timbermen just firing whatever they can at Hill, including Hartley missing high and wide. Woods tried to grapple up the rebound. McAlpine jumps to do so. McAlpine from a sharp angle, denied by Dustin Hill. Hill over 500 minutes now between the pipes for the Six Nations Snipers this year. And he already came in with 321 saves. He's made a handful, and including some highlight reel ones on your Saturday. 110 remains on the man advantage for the Timbermen. As a result, happy to just backtrack this at a turtle's pace, if you will. As Thomas still had to be sharp short-handed. That was McLaughlin on that far side that sort of willed them into a false sense of security. And now he's already got a short-handed goal. Or no, this is Travis Stotts. I almost got my Stotts mixed up, as Jerry Stotts had a short-handed goal earlier. That's Travis Stotts that's now on the floor right now. Zulian. Pitch and catch. Patterson fakes the pass, looks up at the clock, realizes there's 30 seconds left to kill of the man advantage. 8 seconds, though, remains on the shot clock. Doherty guarding Ross Hill, who tried to get cheeky with it. It missed Thomas, though, and now the Timbermen take back over. They only have 18 seconds, though, left of the man advantage. Holden Lowe's, as I mentioned, scored the opening goal of the 20 so far on the board here from Children's Arena. McAlpine to Woods. Back to McAlpine in that far corner. Behind the net now it's Milligan. Milligan with some space and he scores. Top cheddar, because it tastes better. The captain rips it top near side and brings his team within 5. As I mentioned, Milligan came into this game already leading the league with 55 assists and 75 points. He's played in just 15 NLL games over his career, but has 13 goals and 29 assists for 42 points, including 4 power play goals, and that includes stops in Rochester, Panther City, Toronto, includes signing a 1-year deal with Halifax back in October. So the power play goal by the Timbermen bring them within 5, but there's only 9 remaining in the game. If you're going to say the biggest enemy right now, it will probably be the clock for the Timbermen. As a long-distance shot, and they score! Ross Hill. He had 4 assists so far in the game, but now he's got a goal, folks, for his 5th point. Last game, he had a hat trick in the 14-13 loss to the Oshawa Outlaws in this building. And he's got the hot hand for the Snipers, folks, as again, his 5th point and his first goal of the contest with 8:47 remaining in it makes it a 14-8 game. And there's been a handful of times, even dating back to the 3rd frame, where the Timbermen score a key goal to bust up momentum, and you think, okay, this is the chance for them to build on it. Within seconds, if not minutes later, the Snipers try and put another nail in the coffin. So the Timbermen, they're going to have to lock it down on defense, to say the least. Down by 6 with 8:38 remaining in this game. It's now or never for the Timbermen, who, by the way, come into this game with a 3-2 record at Children's Arena. Here's a chance for them, though, led by Bafia. Bafia was harassed by 2 snipers from behind, and it just disrupted the chance on Dustin Hill. Trying to use a bit of a head fake this time is Albert. He's watched by Edwards. He'll leave it for Ross Hill. Hill to Hess. Hess to a teammate in Jaden Patterson. He spills down to the blue carpet. And Holden Lowe's looks to turn the tide back the other way for the boys in blue, known as the Timbermen. Leaves it for his captain and Cam Milligan. Milligan so far in this game, 2 goals and 3 assists, I should say, for 5 points. 80 points so far in the campaign and leading the way. As diving his way through the blue paint that time was Schultzke, he's denied. Or I beg your pardon, that was Perron. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. That was Perron trying to get it out. Now Wittich interrupts it. Wittich in on a breakaway. Thomas just got a knuckle on it, if you will. And then it goes up into the rafters, so they're going to say this should be Six Nations ball still. As he had somebody like Schultzke behind the play begging for the Timbermen to feed him the ball, but the official said, hold the phone. It's Sniper's ball. And in fact, the officials have pushed pause on the action from Children's Arena here in Arena Lacrosse League East Division action between the Timbermen and the Snipers with 7:23 to go here from Oshawa, Ontario. 7:23 remains here in the 4th frame from Children's Arena. It's the Snipers up by 6 over the Timbermen. Six Nations looking for their 4th victory of the season, entering with a 3-7 record. In fact, they're on a 5-game losing streak. The last time the Snipers won a game was 15-9 over the Ohsweken Bears back on January 12th. 7 minutes remains, though, in this contest. Jaden Patterson. Patterson gets some separation, thought about shooting it instead. A nice pass instead is denied by Thomas. That was Colton Armitage again looking for another goal. He's already got 5 points in this game. As a slashing penalty goes against Thunder Hill, Dustin Hill's going to head off to the bench for the extra attacker. So Peterborough, let's talk about just discipline for a moment. If they didn't take all these penalties, as right off of the post, Lowe's eventually touches it enough for the officials to blow the play dead. But man, just off of the goalpost to the right side of Thomas, that close were the Six Nations Snipers with the 6-on-5 advantage from adding even more insurance. It'll be Doherty heading off to the sin bin for 2 or less on the slash. So back to the power play goes the Snipers, 54% coming into today's action. Armitage, as we mentioned before, already a hat trick in this game. Wes Whitlow, so far in this contest, also has a hat trick. So Jaden Patterson. Behind the net right now are the Snipers. That's Thunder Hill to Patterson, into the slot to Whitlow. Tried to go low. The ball's laying in the crease, picked up by the Timbermen. Now shorthanded. They try and stretch the floor up to Stone Jacobs. It's Dustin Hill coming out of his crease, though, to play it up to Zulian. Zulian and the Snipers. 1:25 remains on the man advantage. Whitlow in the slot. Instead, it's given over to Ross Hill to the near side now to Patterson. Patterson now to Ross Hill. Ross Hill, tight shot, and they score! The Hill connection. Ross Hill to Thunder Hill, and Thunder Hill has the goal. It's his 2nd goal of the game for Thunder Hill and his 5th point. It's the 5th assist of the game for Ross Hill. So Sugahara, along with Morgan, go to battle for the biscuit at the middle of the blue floor here at Children's Arena. The Snipers win another one. It's Zulian crossing it to his defenseman. Sugahara throws this up the floor and goes off for fresh legs. Thomas trying to go to the near side now. as Angus Roding with the high shot, just blows it over the ears of Hill. It actually hit off the end wall and bounced back over the crossbar. Some lacrosse stick symphony along the end walls, eventually calmed down by Riley Hess. Hess has an exit plan through Zulian. 5:05 remains here on the hourglass from Children's Arena on your Saturday afternoon. The Snipers, who again entered this game only averaging 12.8 goals per game, have 15 on the board and have a 7-goal lead as a result. Hess, dangerous pass across the floor to a teammate in Pilon, and they score! I thought there might have been a crease violation that time, but they're going to say he dove on through. That's Thunderhill with another helping. So Thunderhill and Ross Hill, they set up the last goal. This time Thunderhill caps off this one, and it's 16-8. The Snipers are doubling up the Timbermen. So Thunderhill's second goal of the game. Or I beg your pardon, that's actually Thunderhill's third goal of the game and his 6th point. It's a little difficult when you have Thunderhill, Ross Hill, and a goalie, and Dustin Hill. I'm trying to keep up with all the kings of the hill here. As now in front of the Timbermen bench, we get some rough stuff. The officials in Brad Fennell and Mike Melvin quick to jump in there. Now you have Poirier on the backside with Sean Osborne. Remember, they mixed it up to end the third frame. Travis Stotts being, escorted off to the penalty box, along with Riley Morgan. Looks like one aside here as Poirier and Osborne continue to jack at each other. And I think Poirier, because of his extra chatty Cathiness, is now joining Stotts in the sin bin. So that may or may not have just given the Timbermen a man advantage here with 4:28 remaining in the game, down by 8. It's not mathematically impossible, but it is mathematically improbable at this point. But the Timbermen need to score in a blink of an eye like you wouldn't believe. So once again, as the officials will settle things here at Children's Arena with 4:28 remaining in the fourth, we'll be back with the power play after this. So with 4:28 remaining in the game, down by 8, the door of opportunity does crack open a bit for the Timbermen, as it's a face-masking major penalty to Travis Stotts, who actually goes off to the locker room. He hopes it's a good Gatorade shower, mind you, with his team up by 8 with a 4:28 left on the scoreboard. But remember, the Timbermen can, in theory, score twice here with this man advantage of the major. So Milligan's at the center of the blue carpet floor. The officials making sure everything is organized properly, and it is. They blow the play in, and here we go. Down by 8, but with a 5-minute major to take advantage of are the Timbermen. Woods, back to Milligan. Near side now to McNulty. Into the corner, back to McNulty. Tight box set up by the Snipers. Milligan at the top of the world, looking for a seam. Instead gives it to McNulty, who goes low and scores. A little give and go between McNulty and Milligan, and a mere 18 seconds into the 5-minute major, the Timbermen score to draw themselves within 7. So remember, again, the Timbermen can score one more time to take advantage of the mismatch on the floor. But they're going to need a lot more out of this game, to say the least, especially when you consider for the Snipers. Thunderhill with a hat trick and 6 points. Wes Whitlow with a hat trick and 5 points. Colton Armitage with a hat trick and 5 points. The Snipers have gotten true offensive everywhere, whereas for the Timbermen, they're being led by Cam Milligan, obviously, with 6 points so far in this game, including a hat trick. That's 81 points, along with 58 assists, I should say, to lead the league in both of those categories. He's looking for his 4th goal there, but unfortunately hits the end wall, ricochets off the boards and over and back, will give the Snipers shorthanded the biscuit back. And watch out for the Snipers, even shorthanded. Colton Armitage with a shorthanded marker, and Jerry Stotts with a shorthanded marker. Jerry Stotts happened in this fourth frame. Thunderhill, already 6 points in this game. Regardless what happens, I think he's labeled one of your top 3 stars of the contest. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Pilon just trying to dribble out as much clock as possible. Still got the odd angle shot in on Thomas. And it looks like Lowe's went down awkwardly, but he appears to be okay. He is shaking his head, though, a bit. Colton Armitage, short-handed, finds the seat. Armitage dives on in. Point-blank robbery by Thomas. Now Parker Sands tries to turn on the Jets. Gets into Timbermen zone. Sands had that top corner labeled and just missed it. Woods grabs the ball off the end wall. Woods creeping down to that far corner. Backtracks this to McAlpine. Now to the near side of McNulty, who just scored the last goal for the Timbermen. Out of the corner is Woods. That's Milligan. Hartley couldn't handle the pass right away. And now the Snipers have a chance to get out of the zone with Colton Armitage. Short-handed. Already 1 goal of his 3 in this game. Came short-handed for Armitage. He's going to give it to Moyer instead. Armitage refusing to be denied. Still got a shot on Thomas, who's had to be sharp, despite the fact that his team is trailing by 7. Under 2 to go in this game. Milligan tried to fire this one, and collecting off the end wall is the goalie in Dustin Hill. Tries to spread this up the floor to Zulian, who tipped off of his stick into the lap of Brandenburg. Brandenburg backtracking, looking to get it back to Zulian, and does here. Zulian on the near half wall, watched out by Ben Doherty. 1:38 remains in the hourglass. 12 seconds, though, remains on the shot clock. Zulian, who's already had one heck of a game for the Snipers, likes to find his teammate in Brandenburg, who tries to go down low. And almost, I was going to say has a nail in the coffin, but I'm pretty sure that's already been nailed in. So the Timbermen. No other Timberman has a multi-goal campaign so far than Cam Milligan with his hat trick and 3 assists. Great passing. Dustin Hildo just shuts the door down to his left side. And now 1:06 remains on the clock. Loose change bounces off of the corner, eludes Stone Jacobs. Now it's Jaden Patterson picking it up. 15 seconds left on the shot clock as we've entered the final minute of play here on your Saturday afternoon. The Six Nations Snipers, oh so close to their 4th victory of the year. Thunderhill content with just rolling this around Stone Jacobs and killing the rest of possession as Peterborough will take over. But man, oh man, Peterborough will look to drop to 6-5 on the year. They look to hold into 3rd place in the East Division. They'll be back in action next Saturday here at Children's Arena when they take on the Brampton Express at 5 p.m. As Six Nations takes over here with less than 14 seconds to go, Wittich crosses over into Timbermen territory, and that should just about do it. The Six Nations Snipers come into Oshawa on your Saturday afternoon and break out of a 5-game losing streak. Snipers win. Snipers win. They take this game by a score of 16-9, as there is some pushing and shoving after the play. Osborne, who literally has been mixing it up with the Snipers throughout this entire contest, tries to go after Jerry Stotts. Stotts, though, looks to calm things down. And usually we get, some handshakes after the game between these two teams. It looks like the officials are content with escorting the two teams to the bench, which is very unfortunate. These two teams played one heck of a lacrosse game here at Children's Arena, and you'd love to see some sportsmanship at the end of this one, but it looks like we're getting some, a little bit of chirpingness back and forth, if you will. So lost in all of this, the Six Nations Snipers break out of their 5-game losing skid. They improved to 4-7 in the regular season, and they'll play they'll play the River Wolves of Paris next Sunday at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena as they try and inch their way closer to the 500 mark, with the playoffs looming in the final stretch. For the Timbermen, as I mentioned, they now drop to 3-3 here at Children's Arena. They drop to 6-5 in the regular season. Their next game, they will take on the Brampton Express here at Children's Arena at 5 p.m. next Saturday. You got to feel for Cam Milligan. The captain did his best job for the Timbermen. 6 points in this game, meaning he now has 81 points on the year to lead the league, including 58 assists. But for the Six Nations Snipers, a plethora of